Marte Parte time. Excellent.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into Southwest Bias, live from the new Studio K at HQ3 here at PHNX, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading that Circle K app for free. We're talking Ketel Marte. It was an interesting weekend, to say the least, when it came to Ketel Marte and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, Ketel has played unbelievable over the last few weeks. Some would argue he was a big reason, if not the reason, why they were able to turn things around and start winning again. It's been reported that teammates and members of the organization might not exactly be happy with Ketel Marte and the way he approaches things. Nick Pickle, in an article this weekend, had something to say in terms of this. As he reported, for the past month, teammates and others in the organization have quietly grumbled about his propensity to ask for days off, with some believing his departure around the All-Star break set in motion the collapse that led to the Diamondbacks trade deadline sell-off. I understand Nick's doing a job here, and I don't begrudge him. He had sources that brought this to the table, and he reported it. That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. And he had multiple sources, because journalists, big J journalists like Nick Pickle, don't report a story unless they have two or more sources. That's a given. We're hearing this from multiple different places now, too. Bob Nightingale even reported over the weekend that they're not happy with Ketel Marte. And he had this quote in the USA Today in his article about trade deadlines, where he said, "The worst kept secret in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization is out. They will listen to offers on all-star second baseman Ketel Marte this winter, knowing that while Marte is extremely talented, he can be a diva in the clubhouse, agitating his teammates and coaching staff." Where there's smoke, there's fire usually. But I do have a problem with this. And it's not with the reporters. I know a lot of people are yelling that, oh, Nick Pickle, Dan Bickley, Bob Nightingale, they're ruining the Diamondbacks by doing this. They shouldn't be talking about. Pump the brakes. They have a job to do. And Nick Pickle and Bob Nightingale have the sources and have reported it correctly. These guys are not fly-by-night people on the internet that are just shouting things into the void. Where my problem comes is, why are teammates and the organization talking now and talking anonymously? Put your name on it, right? If you're going to leak this, if you're going to leak the fact that players felt like it started the downslide and that it caused issues when it came to the trade deadline and guys getting traded, and the fact that Marte didn't play in that first game back from the All-Star break, put your name on it. Because when you bring it up at this point, it is problematic. You are now distracting the team. You are causing issues in terms of the play that is happening on the field. And I'm sorry, but that is an issue. You want to talk about a guy causing a distraction. Anybody that's anonymously sourced in this is causing the problem. Not Marte's problems. There must be issues going along with it, right? I understand that, right? But now you're causing the distraction, because this can come out after the season, and that's fair. But you're talking about, oh, Marte was the problem that started that slide. Last time I checked, what is there, 25 other guys on that roster? This is a one-man team that can only get it done if Ketel Marte is there? I think a lot of people need to look internally with this as well. Because, as expected, Ketel Marte's agent came out and said, that this isn't the case. He tweeted the following, told a reporter that none of this has happened. It's all false, and that they should move forward and cease spreading false rumors. He wasn't the only one that stood up for Ketel Marte. Perdomo stood up for him too after the game yesterday, and he had this to say.
It happened, you saw we lost, but I wanna get something clear about one of my teammates. I'm tired of this. It's gonna be for all reporter and all the writer. Like, it's been this is the second time something came out from Marte. Please, he just want to play baseball. I don't want to speak as a team. I want to play as a brother. He just want to play baseball. Just let the guy alone. It's been too much for him. You know what I mean? I feel he doesn't deserve that. Hey, whatever happened in the past, it was in the past. We're playing good baseball right now, and I feel we just want to have fun and we just want to play. Just please, you guys have to stop. You know what I mean? Whoever writing, whoever saying shit in the media or outside, please, we just want to play baseball and keep that guy alone, please.
I understand as a teammate that you want to defend your teammate. I'd really like to know in the locker room who's feeling this certain way. Or is it players that have already left, that were traded, that felt that way because their life was impacted potentially by the way that they struggled going into the trade deadline? Ketel Marte obviously needs to work on some things. I understand his agent saying none of it's true, his teammates defending him, but there has to be some truth to this, right? Because there's too many people talking about it. We've heard it from too many different areas for some of it not to be true. So if some of it is true, Ketel Marte also has to work as well. He has to make some changes. He has to look at himself in the mirror and ask, what can I do better for my teammates? How can I be a better teammate? Because just because I am one of the most skilled, if not the most skilled guy on this roster, it doesn't mean that I can't learn from it, right? I can't get better. But some of these other people need to accept that stars play by different rules. Stars get treated differently. I mean, hell, Phil Jackson let Dennis Rodman go to Las Vegas in the middle of the NBA Finals because he knew that it was what was best for his individual player. That's just the reality. Guys that have a bigger impact sometimes get treated differently. And if you don't understand that, you don't accept that, then you're not paying attention to sports. You're not paying attention to the way it works. You're not paying attention to the way that you have to manage. Because whether it's sports or it's real life in a business, if you treat everybody the same in your approach to managing them, you're going to lose probably half your people in terms of, them responding to you because not everybody is the same. Don't blame the media for reporting what they're being told by multiple sources. I think that's where you got to start, because if Nick Piccolo simply reporting something can cause your team to lose focus, it's on your team. But if the call's coming from inside the house, which these are sources within the Diamondbacks, whether it's the front office or players, that's on them. It's not on Nick Piccolo. It's on everybody that leaked that. It's on Ketel Marte for whatever behavior is causing people to feel like this. But I would have waited till the offseason if I was going to express that, because guess what? If you're going to trade Ketel Marte, you just tanked his value. And if you're not, you've just managed to really upset the guy. And that's not going to play out well either. It's a lose-lose situation, but maybe that's my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach, who I can actually see now in our new studios. He's sitting straight in front of me. Shane, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Great day in the new studio. I'm so excited for everyone to see not only this setup, but also our other studios.
The other studio is just magnifique.
So it's an exciting day here.
Can we take 1 second? Big thanks to the missus who helped put together. These walls in both studios wouldn't be there
I'm not the
if
missus,
it wasn't
by the
for
way.
the missus. So.
I'm not the missus, by the way.
No, my wife, not Shane. Shane did put in 4 screws. I got 3 in there.
Yep.
So look at that. We helped build this place. But yeah, Shane, I am excited for the new space and everybody to see the other studios. Well, we've come a long way since the very first studios, if you remember that, from PHNX.
Oh, yeah.
What do you make of the Ketel Marte situation?
I mean, you've been hearing things about Ketel for a while, but I just keep going back to what you said at the end. Players that are as talented as Ketel, they don't have a right to act up, but they've got a longer leash.
100%.
And it's very true about the way people are talked to. You can't approach everybody the same.
It'd be a hell of a lot easier to manage people if you could just approach everybody exactly the same.
Yeah. The whole situation is strange to me just because of the timing, but I don't think the timing I don't think the timing was intentional at all. I think sources come together at different times, stories come together at different times. There was a bunch of movement after the trade deadline. People no longer a part of the organization could have leaked it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they could be former Arizona Diamondbacks, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think
who would feel a certain way because they had to move their entire life. And I understand that.
Yeah. I think that eventually this will all settle down, and unless Ketel is formally requesting a trade, I don't think there's a world where you deal him because he's taking days off. It's a concerning thing. It's definitely not nothing, but you don't deal a guy like that.
No, I mean, he's a star. Let's just put it that way. And I give Perdomo a lot of credit for going out there and defending his teammate. That's leadership in the locker room. That's a guy saying, I'm going to stand up for my guy. And, that's fine. I want to ask you this, Shane. Do you have a problem with Nick Pickle reporting it? People are angry, legit angry at him for reporting this.
Ketel Marte's job is to hit the baseball. Nick Pickle's job is to write, is to report. And if he's not doing that, then what is the point? Yeah. No. And if you don't have a problem with the story, but you have a problem with the timing, go back to what I said earlier. He's not releasing this out of malicious intent.
He hasn't had this for 6 months. He goes, you know what? I'm going to drop this now.
He doesn't have a vendetta. And if you're in the camp saying, well, they were playing so well, why would you drop it now? His life doesn't revolve around how the team does.
No, none of us. Look, it's not. And I'm not a big J journalist. I'm barely even considered on the radar.
I don't even know if there's a J.
No, there is. I'm a journalist, right? I yearn for good sports here.
That's kind of a banger.
I yearn for it. I'm not a journalist, but it's none of our jobs to pat these guys on the back and tell them it'll all be okay. That's Torey Lavello's job. It ain't mine, right? And it's not Nick Picora's job to go out there and do that. And part of it is on Ketel Marte to look at himself. Silla said if Nick didn't report it, a national writer would have gone with the story. He had to run the story. Yeah. Guess what? If he didn't run the story, he's probably going to get in trouble with his boss because that's his job, right? His job is to get stories, report them when he has sources. And I have zero issue with Nick Pickle on this one. And if you do, we can have a conversation after this, right? On the other side of the break, we are going to talk with another friend of mine. No, we're going to talk with Cam Cox, who spent a lot of time in Denver last week, both watching the D-backs and watching the Cardinals. So we'll talk to him right after this on Southwest Bias. We are in the beautiful new Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. And right now, you, I'm talking to you. No, not Shane behind there. You watching the show. You can become a member of the Inner Circle for free. Not a lot of things in life are free, but being a member of the Inner Circle is. And you can become it just by downloading the Circle K app, putting in a little information. Guess what? When you do that, you're going to save 25 cents off your first 5 fill-ups per gallon, right? Then you can save 3 cents off. Then you're going to hit that Espo level, and you will be saving 5 cents off per gallon. It is just that easy, and you're gonna want to, because why wouldn't you want 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters, great deals on food and multiple other things, right? Why not get the discounts today by signing up for the Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today? Terms and conditions apply, as they do with everything in life, at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. That's not Phoenix Raceway this time. That is the new parking garage here. It sounds like a NASCAR track, but if you want to go see professional drivers and not the people driving around here like maniacs, you can go and see the NASCAR Championship Weekend, October 31st through November 2nd at Phoenix Raceway, and I can't recommend it enough. I was a NASCAR skeptic. I'm just going to admit it. Some of you may be as well, but I became a believer when I went out to Phoenix Raceway because it's the most beautiful venue in all of Arizona sports. It just is. It's in a mountain. Like, it's beautiful. Plus, it's exciting, right? You go out there, you're going to love the race. And if you're in the Desert Diamond Casino infield experience, you will love that even more. You get to see the drivers, the cars. You get to see them walk out there. Plus, you get a little concert. It's everything that you could want. So go out and check out the Championship Series at Phoenix Raceway. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available. Get yours now at the link in the show notes below as something falls over next door as they put together their offices. Welcome back into Southwest Bias. Like I told you, I'm bringing in my buddy, Cam Cox. We're going to talk a little Cardinals, but as we welcome him in here, Cam, how are you, my friend?
Espo, what's going on, man? Anything for you, buddy? Anything? I'm off like the side of the road here, so I apologize. I'm not in front of a computer.
Please, don't be on the freeway. Like, are you on the freeway? No? Okay.
No, I pulled over.
Okay.
I think I'm off like Glendale Avenue. If anybody wants to come say hello,
they're gonna send out the traffic copter and be like, "Why is this guy off the side of the road?" And then you'll be able to tell them, "No, it's just me. Don't worry." Cam, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on the Ketel situation? We'll get into the Cardinals in a second, but we started the show talking about the Ketel situation and the fact that some fans are blaming Nick Piccolo for the whole situation. What's your overall view on it?
Real quick, I don't want to be like media member defends media member, but I know Nick. Nick is one of the best in this business. If he is reporting something, it's accurate. So let's just go. Let's start with that, fans. Another thing, nobody is scapegoating. Nobody is pointing all the blame on Ketel Marte for this season falling apart. This is an incident that has happened, but it's no way, shape, or form Nick's article is like Ketel is the reason this team has struggled this year. Fans always are like, oh, that happened, but this and this, and what about this? There's a lot of reasons this season has gone wrong, right? We've seen them all. The injuries, the bullpen is terrible. I went to the Rockies game the other night when they were in Denver. You don't know half the guys on this bullpen. You've never heard of them, right? Let's be real. Another thing is there's no way to trust anybody coming out of that bullpen. That's another real fact. I don't know how a team wins when you look at an opening day roster and then 4 months later, 3 months later, 80% of the guys are gone or have been hurt or missing time. It just looks totally different. I don't know how that team wins by any means in a season. There have been some questionable decisions by manager Torey Lovullo. He knows that. We've talked to him about it. A lot of people have talked about it, whether it was decisions in the spring, not giving Corbin the opening day nod, how the bullpen was used. Was it the right pieces in the bullpen? There have been some questions with the third base. Like, we've seen all these things play out. This situation, I do believe Nick's article, because we've all heard from time to time the rumblings behind the scenes that some people within the organization are not happy that Ketel Marte asked for days off. Now, does that mean everybody in the clubhouse is frustrated with him? I don't believe that by any means. Do I believe that some players who are no longer here are frustrated with how that kind of went down? I could see that. Do I believe that Torey treats him a little differently? Yes, he's a star player, Espo. We've seen that with all star players. Guess what? Some star players need different things here and there, and it's Torrey's job as the manager to walk that fine line and to set them up for success. Can you just put a hard no down and be like, no, I'm never going to give this guy days off when he asks for it? I don't. That's not reality, Espo. You manage people. Like there's just things you have to do to make sure the whole operation runs smoothly. It's just an interesting situation. I don't think it's this massive thing that everybody's making it out to be, but I do think there are some who are frustrated with Ketel Marte taking days off. Do I believe they will trade him? No, because I feel like they can make this work. I do believe though this team and clubhouse needs better leaders in it, and I think Geraldo Perdomo took a big step. Now listen, he's kind of been the leader behind the scenes in a sense, but not the most vocal one, right? He's been the heart and soul, but there's a difference when you're that leader, right? I think yesterday with Geraldo Perdomo coming out defending his teammate, he kind of took the next step in becoming that leader. Because if you look at this team, in my eyes, Espo, that's been the biggest problem and the biggest difference between this team and the one that went to the World Series. The one that went to the World Series had a bunch of clubhouse monitoring leaders in it. I don't believe this team had it this year.
I think part of my problem too is if you're going to say it, put your name to it, right? Because then there's
That's
not.
fair.
I
That's
feel
fair.
like then at least in the clubhouse, you know where guys stand, right? Right. If it's all this anonymous stuff, yeah, that can cause division. That's not on Nick. That's on. I look at the people that are making the comments. Hey, you have that big of a problem that you have to go talk to the media about it. Put your name on it, so then at least Ketel knows where he stands with you. Because it's pretty clear that it's not Perdomo. He obviously doesn't feel that way, and he's one of your, like you said, your leaders in the clubhouse.
Yeah, or Lourdes put out an Instagram post too as well. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a massive deal in this clubhouse.
Yeah.
I do think there have been some issues though with him taking days off. But I mean, does that mean like it's disruptive? Does that mean it's like throwing off the vibes in the clubhouse? Does that mean it's causing tension or whatever? I don't truly believe that. I just think there's been some issues, and that's what's being reported is that there's been some issues that in no way is putting this season blame on Ketel Marte by any means. So I know fans read that and that's what they jump to, and that's just not reality.
Well, you were in Denver with the Cardinals over the weekend and end of last week. I don't really want to talk about the preseason game. I know a lot of people are freaking out about that.
Why?
I couldn't
about that game.
Yeah, because
no,
the defense. It's a bunch of backups playing.
The game. There's no way you watched the whole game. I barely watched the whole game, Espo, and I was there.
I fast forwarded through. It was one of those. I watched it about 40 minutes because I watched it after the fact, skipping through it. But like, it's a bunch of backups playing. I don't care. What I'm interested in was your perspective of that joint practice, because to me that feels like the main event of that entire trip was that joint practice and how that went. What were your takeaways from the joint practice and what you've seen so far from the Cardinals?
Well, real quick, Expo, I'm going to put the whole week in perspective. I think the Cardinals got out of it exactly what they wanted to against the Broncos first string. And part of that is mainly that is the joint practice, right? And then if you look at the game by some standards, like Jacoby Brissett continues to show that he's going to be a solid backup on this team. And if his number is needed or if name is need to be called, if he needs to play, he'll be ready to roll. So that's what we've seen from him. So they've checked all the boxes this week. That joint practice is really competitive. Like, it's crazy. You know, JG and Sean Payton were hired around the same time. I remember standing in the bushes out there by the Cardinals facility, watching Sean Payton go interview with Michael Bidwell and then leaving together. Like, you wondered how fast either team could turn around. Obviously, the Broncos made the playoffs last year with a rookie quarterback. Neither team, though, has won a playoff game, I believe, since 2015. Like when the Broncos won the Super Bowl, so it's been a while. Both teams haven't gotten over the hump yet. Cardinals haven't been in the playoffs under JG in 4 years. But it's interesting, the tone around both teams. Like, I believe the Cardinals are going to be really good this year. The tone in Denver is that the Broncos are going to compete for a Super Bowl. That's fairly interesting. That's a lot of the talk from insiders in Denver.
There's a reason it's called the Mile High City, all right? And that it was a joint practice, all right?
But Espo, to that point, like, Bo Nix looks pretty good. Like, he looks like a guy that's really understood that offense for him, and that defense is solid. Like, they get after folks. And the Cardinals walked in there, and it was either Calais Campbell or Trey McBride after practice the other day. I think it was Trey. He was like, they brought it and we brought it, and basically like we held our own. And watching that practice, that's what I believe too as well. Especially when I was watching the defense, the Broncos offense and the Cardinals defense, like there were a few times where I thought the Cardinals had sacks, and but they don't call that in a joint practice. They let the play keep going. But Calais said it after practice that like we got after the quarterback, we stopped the run. Secondary still needs some work. I mean, that's clear. They're a bunch of young guys. They're going to get tested all year long. But just like we thought, like that pass rush is going to get after people. And we saw that against the Broncos' first team offense. I don't think Bo Nix had a lot of time to throw. So it'll be interesting to see how those sacks would have held up in real games. And then talking with some of the offensive guys after the practice against the Broncos defense, like they moved the ball. The key words were we had explosives, we had big runs. Did you see what James did? Marvin Harrison Jr. had some big catches too as well. So I was optimistic coming out of that this offense that can hold its own. Now I just want to see him go and have some live bullets.
You think we'll see them at all, the starters at all in preseason game 3? I get the feeling we won't, but
yeah. Listen. I'm a little old school on that, and I don't like to be that guy, Espo, that's like how we used to do it is better way. But like the only way to like practice football is to practice football, is to play. Yeah. You don't got to play a little bit, but play a little bit. I understand this past week against the Broncos why they didn't play, because that joint practice was pretty physical. I mean, sometimes JG cuts practice a little short, like if they go through everything and get everything accomplished. No, Sean Payton, 2 hours, and we're going past 2 hours, and they went past 2 hours, and it was hot in Denver. It felt like Phoenix with humidity. And so, I mean, it was a hot day in Denver up there, and they got a lot of good work in, and they just kept going and going and going. So the starters got their work that week. I believe the Broncos are going to play some of their starters in this third preseason game like a quarter. I would like to see the Cardinals do that, just from a standpoint of after this week, you got 2 weeks for your first game. You got plenty of time to rest up and go. Why not treat that preseason game like a joint practice? And the way these coaches talk right now behind the scenes, and it seems like they take care of each other pretty well in the preseason. To me, it makes sense just to go out there for a quarter. Now, if you're asking me, do I think it's going to happen? No. I think the starters are done for the preseason, and the next time we'll see them is week 1 in New Orleans.
I agree with you. There's people paying to go watch that game, and if they get 4 quarters of Clayton Tune, maybe they should get their money back. You didn't say it. I said it, Cam. What kind of car are you driving?
I think I've said that before. I've said that before.
As long as we agree. What kind of car are you driving, Cam? What are we rolling around in?
Oh, the Benz today.
The Benz.
The knockoff Benz. Yeah, the knockoff Benz. It's a 2013 Chevy Equinox, but it looks like a Mercedes-Benz from like afar if you squint and maybe have one lens in and the other contact. And then if you're just far enough, like a few blocks down, it looks that way.
Plus, I gotta ask: is that a bar to hang your suits from on the way into the office?
It is. I got my clothes ready to roll from the day.
Little television secret there. You got to do that so you don't get the suit all wrinkled.
Correct.
Look at that.
Everything's hanging up. The golf clubs are back there too, but I'm gonna take them out so no one takes my golf clubs. All right.
Cam is an innovator. Just remember that. Cam, thank you so much for joining us today from the side of the road somewhere in an undisclosed location in Phoenix, so the cops don't come visit you.
Good to see you, Espo. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Cam. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the book. Shane, I think we christened the new studio all right. Are we okay?
I'm doing okay back here. Are you doing okay over there?
Nothing fell off the walls.
Good.
So that's a win, right?
Yeah, it looks like something's sliding back there.
Can I make a quick observation?
Yeah.
Right? We got 1 minute left. New studio. I get a lot of crap, let's say, from U of A people. Mm-hmm. There's a very angry, our own version of Wilbur right here, staring over my shoulder every show now. So if you don't like my comments, he's angry at me right above my shoulder. It's like the angel from Tucson. Yeah. So there you go. That's another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. You can follow the mustache behind the Mac at Shane Deef. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports, and you can follow me at Espo. And remember, everybody has work to do, including the media, Ketel, and that whole clubhouse. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.